One of the questions we get asked is, when is my VAT deadline? You'd think it would be a really, really straightforward question, right? But actually it's just a little bit fiddly. The first question is, what VAT quarters are you on? So some people are on standard calendar quarters. So they end 31st of March, 30th of June, 30th of September, 31st of December. You might, however, be on a different schedule. So you might have VAT returns for the quarters ended 31st of January, 30th of April, 31st of July, and the 31st of October. Or you could be on 28th of February, 31st of May, 31st of August, and the 30th of November. If you're not sure what VAT quarters you are on, you should be able to see by looking in your Xero account, which should have that information in there. Alternatively, just ask. You don't want to necessarily assume that because you've got a March year end, you're therefore going to be on March, June, September, December quarters, because that isn't necessarily the case. So, based on those VAT quarters, when are the deadlines? The normal answer here is it's a month and 7 days after the end of the VAT quarter. So if you've got a VAT quarter that ended on the 31st of March, then your actual VAT return deadline is going to be the 7th of May. If your VAT return end point is the 31st of August, then that one's going to fall due on the 7th of October. If you've got a larger business, then you may be moved on to a slightly earlier filing deadline. So you could have a VAT quarter where you've only got 1 month to file that VAT return. So if your VAT quarter ends on the 30th of June, for you, would then be due on the 31st of July. But that's quite unusual for our client base. Normally you've got that month and 7 days. Your VAT payment deadline will then be at the same time, unless, there's always exceptions, unless you're on a direct debit, at which point they will collect the VAT owed on or around the 10th of the month, where you've got the deadline on the 7th. And if there's a weekend that falls in between the 7th and the 10th, then you get another day or two, which is why it's on or around the 10th rather than always exactly on the 10th. So that gives you hopefully a bit of an idea when your VAT deadline is. Most critical thing is to just double check you know your VAT quarters, and then you add 1 month and 7 days.